welcome back to the Banks of Sicily Lesson 2, a nice little chunk of music here that we're going to tack on to what we did in Lesson 1. If you want to jump around lesson to lesson, or if you want to check out that sheet music, it's all in the link below. And if you haven't already, like, thumbs up, subscribe, comment below what tune do you want to learn. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know if you're enjoying the tune workshops on Get Bagpipe Ready. So we ended off lesson 1 on the low A, and we're going to go through the lesson 2 of the tune without embellishments first. So this is what the lesson 2 of the tune will sound like without embellishments. One more time, a little bit slower, then we'll break it down note by note. So we're on the low A already. Our first note transition is from low A up to D. This one, if you remember from lesson 1, we talked a little bit about that forearm rotation, so you can go from low A to D a little bit quicker by doing a little flick of that forearm. I'm exaggerating here so you can see. It's not a large one, but just enough to pop up those 3 fingers while that pinky finger touches down and covers the bottom hole. So that's our first note transition. From there, we're just going to walk up the scale 2 notes. And I say just walk up the scale, but we do have our trickiest note transition from D to E. Lots of fingers on the move here. We have to drop back down to that low A position with the bottom hand. Pinky finger comes up, all the other fingers are down. At the same time, we're lifting up that ring finger of the top hand. If you're getting an extra little noise, you can't quite tell where it's coming from, we probably call that a crossing noise. So what's happening there is your bottom hand fingers are coming down before your top finger lifts. So we don't want that, we want it nice and clean. So if anything, your top finger has to lift a little bit before the bottom hand comes down, and that'll solve that crossing noise problem. Also trying to make sure those 3 fingers all land on the chanter at the same time. Alright, so if you haven't done that before, it's a good chance to pause the video, work on that for a bit, and I'll be waiting for you when you come back. And if you're old hat at that, let's move on. So we've got that note transition D to E. Our next note transition, much easier, just lift up 1 finger, the middle finger of the top hand, and we've gone from E to F. Easy peasy, so here's what we have so far. And you'll hear that D is long, short end. Long, short end. Long, short end. And then we have a really long note, that last note. And how I got to that last note, we're on the F. And then the last note, we just drop down that middle finger back to the E. And that is a longer note. And that's the whole lesson 2 bit without embellishments. Now, I will play lesson 1 and 2 without embellishments here for you. But again, check out the link below if you want to jump ahead to different lessons or grab that sheet music. And I hope to see it in other lessons as well. But before I do, I will be going through the embellishments of this lesson 2 tune chunk for you as well. But here's lesson 1 and 2 without embellishments. And let's do lesson 2 with embellishments. So we have this nice, big, lovely D throw. That's our first embellishment we need to tackle. So we ended off lesson 1 on the low A. We're going to go into that D throw. And it can be a lot if D throws are new. So let's break it down. First half of the D throw. Drop down the pinky finger and do a D grace note. So that's an up and down movement with the top finger of the bottom hand. Make sure that pinky finger covers its hole before you do that grace note. That's the first half of the D throw. Second half, we're already on low G. Pop up to the C, pop up to the D. When we pop up to the C, we keep that top finger on, we just lift up the middle 2 fingers. And then when we pop up to the D, we lift up that top finger. So if we add both halves together, so there's our D throw. We have one other embellishment, and that's a doubling on the E. So we're doing a doubling coming from the F, so we got to do a G grace note to get down to the E initially. And to do that, we're going to lift up the top finger, then the second finger comes down, then the top finger comes down. That's the first half of the doubling. And we just do that once, but I'll demonstrate it again. Second half of the doubling, we're already on the E. We're going to do an up and down movement with that second finger, or that middle finger. One more time here, but we're just going to do it once in the doubling. Good, so if we put both halves together, and if we tighten up those grace notes so they don't overlap, but they're nice and close to each other. And there's our doubling. So let me play the lesson 2 chunk with you, nice and slow with that D throw and E doubling. Once more. And I can play lesson 1 and lesson 2 for you together here with the embellishments. And again, I hope to see you in another lesson soon. Click on the link below, like, subscribe, and until next time, let's get this lesson 1 and 2 chunk down pat with the doublings and D throw. So here it is for you.